We're here today to shine a spotlight on one of the dark areas of misunderstanding in public life, and that's the agreement known as the PLA. The Project Labor Agreement is a collective bargaining tool that's used in organized labor and in construction in city and in private sector. But we're here today to talk about its use in government, particularly at the School Construction Authority. We've gathered contractors who are part of the Graduate Mentor Program of the School Construction Authority, and they're going to have a panel discussion and workshops to get into the specifics of this particularly sometimes controversial but always useful and an economic tool called the Project Labor Agreement. We read about institutions, agencies, unions in the newspapers, and we sometimes say that all those people are good people or all those people are bad people. And I want you to know from personal experience and over 20 years on the front line that Ellie Spitzer is one of the good people.
One thing I've learned from my years of working in government is that people on the agency level in government, they care about their jobs getting done correctly.
Is the Deputy Director of URS?
It's my partner on the mentor program. Okay?
That's right.
This is a partnership that was made in heaven right here.
So we're doing everything we can to grow contractors. That's really our mission. It's a culture of mentoring that we don't just take on when it's time to do a job. It's just what we believe in, and it works. Before we go any further, I want to acknowledge the team once again. This information is part of the Advanced Mentor Training Program. So question for Lynn and for John is, how has working in this environment either accelerated your rate of working with firms, new firms? How has this environment caused you to change the way you do business as it relates to the PLA?
But there's going to be a time, hopefully, very soon, where we are going to experience a labor shortage in our industry. There's a lot of pent-up demand for building. There's going to be a lot of expansion programs. Our company is preparing for it. We internally, as a CM, are anticipating needing to hire another 1,500 employees before 2015. We recognize that in order to meet the challenges, we need to reach out to our catchment area of trades, and we need to work with new firms, new people, and part of our own mentor program that we have is to do that, because we have a lot of competition ourselves.
It is a business decision, and John, you had to make a decision to try it or not. What really caused you to do that?
Well, basically, looking at being a GC and making this transition, I now gotta tailor my trade. So I focuses on carpentry, and now hiring all the other trades. Now I just gotta manage the different areas. So now it's key on relationship with different firms and being firm. You know, because at the end of the day, this is where your money, this is where you make your money or you lose your money.
Always need that money. Robert, you had a concern about that also.
It was 2 points I'd like to make when it came to the shortness of labor. In 2005, 2006, 2007, I'm gonna say, the union had a came substantially short with labor. The union, my union, I'm going to speak in particular, what they end up doing is they go and they reach out nationally and they try to find plumbers with union books that are union members, and they'll say, look, we have work here, we don't have enough people, so can you come here and come to work? Well, the reality is, if you make the transition into becoming a union contractor, you eliminate that. That money was for New York, it should stay in New York, and it should go to the residents of New York.
Talking a lot about expansion and the things that you need to do now to be ready for that time then. You should all be focused on the SCA. 5-year plan is $11 billion, actually 11.2. Yes, it's a drop from the 13.5 it was in the last plan, but it's still over $2 billion a year in projected spending. So you have to be focused on that. Even if you look at the universities, Columbia University has a 25-year plan, and NYU just announced a 2031 master plan, and City College is doing a tremendous amount of building too. So you really, really have to embrace this discussion for growth, not what you're doing now, but what you're doing in the future.
Being, I like the contrasting views because we had the PLA agreements with the city, and then the PLA agreements with the school construction authority. So I like the information that they displayed and, the contrasting, points, I should say, the different points in regards to that.
I was really impressed with the PLA because it was important to us. We have this PLA out there. As I keep saying, it's a legal document and it's complicated enough for us to understand.
I'm Lynn Shavelson with Skanska USA Building, and this fits well with our goal to expand our reach for new trade contractors, and programs like this are training those contractors to meet the building challenges of tomorrow.
It's a great program. I hope you enjoyed it. It has really been a pleasure to be able to deliver this type of information. We had a very, very successful room today. We had almost 120 contractors. We got to dispel all the notions about the project labor agreement, understand what works and what doesn't work, and how you're gonna have a benefit for growth. So this is the real deal. We're doing the work. We're not just making this story up, all right? So we're gonna tell you how to grow. Remember to watch out for the book, Making Bold Moves, creating multi-million-dollar success in 500 days or less. All of these lessons come from that. So we'll talk about how important it is to practice. This was a day of practice. Conference, seminar, workshop is practice. So now that you guys got that, I'm very, very glad that we're gonna be moving on to the next level. Please stay with us, and I'm glad you were here today. Thanks a lot.